Hey, collective, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So excited to have you here, be with you here always. We are live for our weekly update, weekly forecast. We're going to look at the energy for the upcoming week via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through, sprinkled with some little holistic wellness. My name is Deborah. Like I said, I'm so happy that you are here joining in with me this evening. I hope you're having a fabulous Easter if you're celebrating. It's a really, I love this time of year. I mean, I live in a colder climate, so I feel, or during the winters, it's cold, I should say. So I feel like every time we hit this springtime, it is just very rejuvenative. It's very re-enlivening. We've been focusing on how we can gain a little bit more balance and stability, considering some of the transitions, the changes that we are moving through currently. And we're still kind of coming off of that full moon in Libra energy. So, beginning of the week through the middle of the week, there is going to be a little bit of tension in the transits. But a lot of that is reminiscent of that full moon in Libra energy, where it's finding the balance between opposing forces, being able to really just figure out, especially if we are dealing with something challenging and we have to commit to it on some level, or it is a part of our life, whether we like it or not. We kind of have to figure out how we're going to work with that energy while still maintaining boundaries, keeping ourselves safe, protected as need be. And Aries season, which we're in right now, is the focus of self. It's that principle of being really cognizant of what is working for you, investing in that, continuing to enliven that within your own being. And then the stuff that's not, like I just got done saying, finding a way to have balance and harmony. Sometimes it's not possible, right? Sometimes we're just dealing with people who love to fight or love to make things difficult. But like I was saying, that's where the astrology is really trying to help support us towards that balance, even if it's just peace within self, right? Because obviously, if you're dealing with a difficult person, difficult situation, that's not necessarily going to change. They're going to have to work on that within themselves, right? But you can always control and mandate how you're going to show up, how you want to respond, how you want to engage. And that's a lot of what's playing out this week in the astrology. Mars is also moving into Aries. So it brings some intensity with it. Mars is fire energy, it is governed by Aries as well as Pluto. So it has a little bit of spiciness in it as well with that Pluto vibe. Um, so being mindful of how the intensity is affecting us, making sure that we're not bulldozing people over to get what we want, ideally, right? But it's also giving us a newfound sense of courage and confidence when it comes to either standing up for ourselves or really investing in the things that are worth our while, the things that are actually, and not being as concerned about the stuff that's not, or not letting it infiltrate, overshadow the good, right? So we will dive into it. I'd like to start off all my readings with an energy cleansing just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places that we might feel blocked or limited. It's a really good time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of that realignment of self, your mind, body, soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're aligned in self, that's really where we are able to kind of just tap into our happiness, our fulfillment, our success, really living the life that makes us feel fulfilled. And we all deserve that. And I would love to help support you in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. I'm working on my website, moving a little slow. Unfortunately, I'm juggling a lot per usual, but it should be up soon. So to be continued. Sorry, I feel like I've been saying that a lot. My goal was end of the month and it just didn't happen. Sometimes I make very lofty goals for myself, apparently. So I am plugging away. Just bear with me. I probably should get like an AI assistant or something. I have not touched AI yet, so I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. It's a different topic for another time, right? All right. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so you may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Okay. All right. So I feel like even though there might be some things that I'm picking up this energy, like you feel pretty good. You feel pretty solid, stable. That energy's been coming through a lot in our readings lately, where even if there is some tension happening, manifesting in your life right now, it's not necessarily getting you down. Yes, there are components of it like I was talking about that are playing out in the astrology where it doesn't feel so great. We have that sun tensely aspected to Jupiter, which was a major transit that also influenced the full moon. So that really talks about how the places where our abundance, our success, what we want things to look like when it's not really manifesting in the way that we're anticipating, it can get really defeating. And even to this point of maybe making you feel like you're not good enough or you're not doing something right or you don't deserve, etc. It can be a tough thing for our ego, a tough pill to swallow. And it's also kind of highlighting where some of those disconnects, like places that we need to improve. So, again, emphasizing some of the difficulty because it does take a level of humility. But I feel like walking into this week, like I'm hearing you're not letting things get you down. You're really determined to keep moving forward and you really don't want to slide back, whatever that means, right? Like, there's some options on the table this week with, well, it's the cemetery card, but essentially it says vacancy and occupied. And I'm hearing this as like, which way are you going to go, right? Are you going to continue? And we're seeing this a lot too with Venus just moving into Taurus, where it's time to commit. It's time to commit to certain things. And part of that refinement is something we're doing for self to get better, to be stronger. And as we're doing so, it's evaluating exactly what those choices are. There is an offer coming in beginning of the week. And again, there might be some tension around this. We'll dive a little bit deeper when we get into the tarot. It could be an offer for a relationship. This actually looks like a really good energy, which I'm so glad because I literally was just like, I don't know. And you guys can totally drop comments below if you want. But I was like, I don't know if I'm like a little too negative or I'm only focusing on, I'm not trying to focus only on the negative stuff on this channel. I hope you get enough positivity, good vibes, hope, inspiration for what the future is going to bring because it's not all bleak. There's definitely been some heaviness, and I do like to highlight those things in my reading because I think that just helps us navigate the messier stuff a little bit easier. But this week, all that to say, this week, it looks really good. It looks like you have good offers on the table. Like things are starting to feel less burdensome. And we're going to get that a lot this month. Well, before I say that, let me backtrack a little bit. Topically, like we're going to get more of that because we're not having any planets in retrograde. Fire energy is a lot about drive, it's about action, inspiration, creativity. So it's a really good time to invest in those things. I feel like you're either going to be coming out of your shell a little bit more this week, or maybe you're going to be putting yourself out and about in a new way, in a different kind of way than what you have been. It does look like you've been taking a lot of time for yourself, introspection, maybe even some healing. And I think this is good. Like we've seen this too in our readings where the work that you're doing is paying off. And that's exactly that energy that I'm picking up of you walking into this week where again, it doesn't mean that everything's picture perfect and you're ecstatic about all the things that are happening in your life, but it's more confident, it's more composed. And I feel like you want to continue to expound on that energy. But I think we have also had this, and it's coming up again tonight, that you might be doing like either too much on your own, being too self-reliant. I'll clarify this before I start pulling. Let's look. Okay. Not getting out enough, out and about. And again, I think that can ebb and flow in life. We're coming off the winter months. I know where I'm located. It's not as fun to go outside unless you're like sledding or, skiing or something along those lines, right? But something's kind of kept you in limbo, something's kept you waiting. And I'm seeing more movement, more momentum this week. Momentum is picking up, and we're definitely going to see that with Mars moving into Aries. It's a nice energy. Like I said, we just have to make sure it's tempered, like not being all like crazy and super wound up. But either like you I feel like you haven't given yourself enough credit. That's what I'm seeing with this blocked energy because it's the work, like I said, the work that you're doing is working and it's paying off and it's a good thing. And you're seeing the efforts, the fruits of your labor. But at the same time, like you probably could have, I don't know, whatever that is, put yourself out there. You probably could have invested in something, like given yourself um the opportunity to kind of like express yourself, express your ideas, your opinions, connect with new people. This is just kind of like putting yourself out there. And Aries season is a great time to do that, of course. I think you've been waiting. Well, we can figure out why or see what is up with that. Okay, so our first card is the Hermit. Again, like it's okay to get out of the house. It's okay to make some plans. Yes, it's really good to make sure that you are feeling balanced, that you're feeling good within self. But maybe, like I was saying, just don't be too much of a hermit. That's essentially what this is saying. Because there's happiness waiting for you. Yeah, I love this. And this 9 of Cups came up in our reading today, which is awesome. The energy, like I said, there just feels like there's a good little pick me up. again, continuing to emphasize there is some tension, but we also have a lot of support with that cluster of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Those are all more of the spiritual, like how we're going to grow through our challenges. And it looks like you're doing that. And as a result, good things are coming in. But I feel like that's that message of like putting yourself out there, because it's almost like this has been wanting to come in for some time. And because you've been more a lone ranger focused on self, or whatever this looks like for you, um, it's saying like, okay, you can switch it up now. You don't have to do that so much anymore, or things that you want, opportunities that you are seeking are available for you, but you have to, again, put yourself in the right position to align. You can want a job, want to make more money or whatever that is, but you still got to go out and look for the job, right? That type of vibe. You can prepare your resume, your interviewing style, etc. But if you're not actively pursuing that job, then it's not going to come, that type of thing, right? Like you can want a love relationship, but more than likely that person is not going to come and ring your doorbell, right? So just that type of vibe. And as I'm saying all that, we're getting this Six of Swords energy, which is all about transition, peaceful transition. And this just highlights how part of this, it's not a bad thing. I hope you don't hear it as a shaming. It's not that. It's more about trusting in yourself. That's what I keep hearing. That's what I keep picking up. Like trusting that you have done the work, right? So you've done it, it's paying off, you're seeing good results, but you're still not having that confidence in self. And again, Mars going into Aries is really going to help us with that. So beginning of the week, an offer comes up. This looks really nice. It looks really good. This is all beautiful energy. It feels balanced. It might be coming on the heels of some conflict, but I don't know if I was hearing conflict resolution. I don't know if there's a resolution between you and whatever you're having difficulty with, but I feel like whatever's happening beginning of the week, even if you are fighting with something, someone, um, whatever's happening, it's helping you have your own type of resolution. Because things are, yeah, I mean, it's like this is exactly where the tension that is coming into play that I was talking about, right? Like when we can't really, something being really emotional, having a really hard time calming themselves is what I'm hearing. Not that that's your responsibility. The King of Cups with Five of Wands, Two of Wands is just someone who does not have control over their emotions. They don't have control over their emotions. Maybe this is part of what you're hiding from, or what you're trying to stay away from, or what you're trying to strengthen yourself around. And like I said, I mean, as the Empress, there's a lot of signs pointing to yes. There's a lot of signs pointing to like you are doing it right. But I think that also threatens someone else, i.e., why they're struggling to manage themselves or maybe just stir the pot. How is this affecting collective? Okay. Sorry, the devil, this guy, just someone being very shitty. Really. The devil is all about control. It's manipulation. In the traditional deck, it's shown as the people in it, they have like chains around their neck. It's like the ball and chain, right? But they can easily get out of those chains. They just choose. I'm saying that very loosely because I'm not accusing you of choosing to stick around this energy. I don't think you want to be around it, but maybe some of the tactics are worn out. They're not working in the same way anymore, or you're seeing how they are catering to the problem, maybe even feeding into the problem. So let's see. See if this King of Cups is offering you. What are they offering the collective? Because they want to fight. Okay. There's a lot going on. Two of Coins. Trying to keep everything up and running, but also having a really hard time doing so. This also feels like an energy, Knight of Cups. This also feels like an energy of someone who's kind of like running out of gas. So again, and probably exactly why I'm picking up that energy of you feeling a little bit more confident this week, because someone's running out of fuel, right? They might even be running their mouth saying all this stuff, but they really don't have the strength, the fortitude to like withstand whatever they're trying to do to you, right? And I think maybe you're even seeing some of those cracks, maybe cracks in the ceiling and the floor, whatever the saying is, right? You've been seeing them, and so now you're again, like I see you riding the wave more. This might not be anything new under the sun, and it does feel like either this is an energy you've been dealing with for a while, or it's not going away. Two of Cups. Yeah, we've gotten this a lot. But it's like they want to keep you on their toes. They want to keep you on your toes, and you're choosing to remain more balanced, finding different options, different solutions with how to deal with things with them. Someone who their feelings are hurt, and so they're reacting out of that hurt. And it looks like, all right. Ooh. But there's another offer coming in. We're not going to get stuck on this energy because it pops up a lot in our readings, and you know. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, we're not focusing on only the negative. Let's see the good. Because I'm also seeing something positive that's coming through, or someone starting to stress out of what you do have going on. Maybe even what they can't see behind the curtain is what I'm hearing. Maybe even just watching you, keeping tabs on you, that type of vibe. And it's also what I think this is also why this person's situation can't really manage themselves, because there is relationship on the table, a new relationship coming in. And as we're moving through the week, we get a little more tension midweek, but as we're moving through, things are starting to lessen, even the tension that we're seeing midweek, it's not as rough as the beginning of the week. Like things are starting to wane. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so there is our Seven of Swords. Ooh, Five of Swords. And the blocked energy. This looked so good. And then we just get a Page of Swords. So Knight. Okay, my bad. Knight of Swords, excuse me. All swords, all stress, lots of communication happening midweek. What I would say is, like, especially if you are continuing to deal with whatever that King of Cups energy is, try not to get your hopes up too high about how that's going to work out, about how that's going to look. That's where that sun tensely aspected to Jupiter, as well as the moon midweek, it's going to make us more emotional around those things. Black moon Lilith is tensely aspected to the North Node. This transit's been going on for a minute, and it's making those trickier energies, those people that are trying to control, trying to manipulate, it's making those energies seem enticing or alluring, or like maybe they'll change or whatever, and there's just not. And it looks like midweek, I'm going to see there's a lot of stress. Like something is very stressed out, recognizing that they do need to make some choices, especially when it comes to you. Let's see what the offer is. Okay, we get the Hangman. And the Three of Swords, gosh, man, so much sword energy. So the swords deal with our mental, the way we think, the way we process, the way we communicate, our intellect. Someone's feeling like the weight, but again, this is not, I don't know if they're, because it looks like whatever this is, yeah, they're like, it does look like someone is looking their wounds. They're having a really hard time in the background. They might not even be showing you that. And I feel like even what they are showing you feels a little bit tense, like just a lot of resistance. But it makes sense. We go from the Five of Wands, which is all about conflict, to the Five of Swords, which is like, you will not win, you know? And with the Seven of Swords, it's sneaky energy, someone not being very upfront, very honest about what they're doing. The King and Knight of Swords can be very strategic in how they move. You could be dealing with a few people or some people who are working together. This also could be family because we have the Hierophant here too. Hierophant and our sword family on the board. What do they want with collective? What does this offer around relationship? Page of Wands, Four of Swords. Well, it's not being offered to you. That's what it looks like. It's not being offered to you. I feel like someone's really, either they're like figuring out what they're going to do. They might even be seeking out some advice. Maybe they're getting advice from family. I feel like the choice that they want to make is maybe not 100% true. Like they're trying to convince themselves that they want to do something that maybe they don't really want to do, but it looks like there's no other options because of this Five of Swords, needing to win, needing to be the person, the situation that has the upper hand. But like I said, there are choices on the table. So this might just be someone who's trying to infiltrate, manipulate whatever choice you do make. It does look like some options are coming forward. Some good, some bad. Lots of sevens. Seven of Wands. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That was Nine of Wands. My bad. Things are getting ready to change, though. That's what it looks like. It looks like whatever this is, like you won't have to be in this dynamic too much longer. Someone has one foot in, one foot out. Maybe they're still trying to influence how the situation plays out. They're, throwing their last few cards on the table, seeing what they can get out of it. Also, a lot of like planning. And I see you like, and this is part of why I feel like the Seven of Swords is coming up for you, because it's like you have no other choice but to keep your mouth shut, is what I'm hearing. Like, almost like you can't really have a lot of honest conversations, or there's not a lot of communication happening between you and whatever this is, because it almost makes it worse for you, right? Like, it actually makes things more difficult. We have the funeral card at the end of the week. So paying attention to the signs. Oh, it's this, sorry. Paying attention to the signs. I think you're seeing it. I think that you're seeing it. It looks like whatever this time of struggle is, it is coming to a close. We have 10 of Wands and there's our Six of Swords again. So the burdens aren't going to be lasting forever. Maybe someone's trying to make you think that. I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised. I don't get the vibe that you're necessarily being shady, but I do feel like you have to kind of, like I said, keep your mouth shut. You want to make sure that you're not putting yourself into a sticky situation, because someone is very smart or they know how to use their intelligence to get what they want, right? Um, and there is this planning energy. I don't really like this energy midweek. I'm really kind of bummed to see this because, like I said in the beginning, let's see what is working for collective. What's the silver lining? Where are we getting positivity in this for collective? Okay. Oh, Page of Coins, baby energy. It's giving you a more solid foundation. And again, it's putting you in a space where because you kind of I don't think your hands are tied behind your back, but it gives a little bit of that vibe like this is really limiting. You can only move so much. And so it can feel really suffocating or like you don't have any options, but where you are finding your options, that's what's working in your favor. That's what's working out for you. And I think it's like a little bit better off than what maybe you're even expecting, what you're even seeing in your own life. Four of Swords. Yeah. It's helping you evaluate where you need to be funneling your energy to be successful. And that success is happening. It looks like I said, you're building, you're growing on top of that. And even though this energy is messy, even though whatever you're dealing with, like I was saying very beginning, even though it is a little bit messy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not handling it. And I think you're handling it with a lot of grace. I think even more so than what you even understand at this point. So be proud of yourself. Give yourself credit where credit is due. Don't take on someone else's feelings, emotions. Don't take responsibility for those is what I'm hearing, right? Because I mean, whatever. Everyone's situation is going to be different, but I feel like someone just does kind of keep putting themselves in a bad position over and over and over again. And it makes it really hard. I feel like that's why you keep getting that, like, that's why you keep feeling limited or you have no choices or as if there should have already been more movement in this situation than has happened. Okay, so there's our Hierophant card coming back up. You could be dealing with family again. Or, it's just things that we kind of, the way we show up for ourselves in our life, morals, traditions, values that we hold in life. I think that you are getting something this week, maybe not from from the messy person or messy situation, but someone's bringing you something. Um, Maybe a little reluctantly, we have this offer. I think you're either seeing signs or like you might be thinking about this person a lot or like someone's popping up on your radar, either that you haven't really talked to in a while or they're making an appearance for whatever reason. Like I said, there might be a little bit of resistance around this person. We're getting the King, Queen of Coins coming out as well. So someone might be doing someone's work for them. Like if you might be hearing from like a third party. I'm not saying but it feels like someone's coming to talk to you or trying to reach out to you or whatever via someone else, right? Like they're sending someone else to do their dirty work. Okay, sorry. Let me just see what this is. Okay, 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups. I think coming to clear the air is what I'm hearing. This page or this Queen of Pentacles is offering something, trying to work through something, trying to make things a little bit better. Or that's the hopes, that's the energy. Maybe they have someone who has a difference of opinion about if they should even approach you, maybe. It does feel like there's a lot of conversations about you this week. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I give this to collective? Is it worth it? Let's see why. I haven't even finished pulling on that anyway. Okay, give me a second. All right, so 5 of Cups, definitely, or 5 of Pentacles. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. My bad. I'm a little tired today. 4 of Cups too. Okay. It does look like whoever this is at the end of the week, like I feel like someone is very remorseful, but I think having that initial conversation feels a little bit difficult for them. And I think this is a lot of because they don't know what side of you they're going to get. Maybe there's a lot of fear. I think this is an honest conversation, or a conversation where there has to be a lot of authenticity and honesty, a lot of truth coming out, because it does look like it's helping you. It's helping you ultimately. Yes, there are still some things that are blocking some of this. And again, that could just be whatever that messy energy was that we were picking up in the very beginning. Like someone doesn't want you to know information, or they don't want something to work out for you. So they might be directly getting in the middle or getting involved or trying to slow something down from getting to you, is what I'm hearing. But it also looks like you have these other people coming out of the woodwork that are coming to support, that it feels a little bit more stable, right? With the King and Knight of Swords, unfortunately, these are just people who do have their own agenda in mind, right? Or that's how this midweek energy comes up. And I think this is the energy that you can't really work with, no matter how logical, rational, whatever argument you present or whatever, you know. I, I came across this thing, like sometimes we just don't need to say it. Sometimes we don't need to try to prove our point, because all that does is it ends up giving this thing power that just does have a lot of mass to it. And maybe this is a cycle that you've been moving through for a while now, and you're learning how to disengage your energy, disconnect from the cycle. And it looks like the support that's coming in, no matter if someone's a little not happy about it, or they're kind of acting, I'm just getting kind of like a weird like a weird energy is what I would from this Queen of Coins, like in the way that, yeah, they do want to connect. I think there's something that's very, something got in the way and it made it messy, and this is someone who's like ready to kind of bury the hatchet or create amends if there was difficulty, or maybe even just kind of figure out where you're at, you know, figure out if you're on the same page, and if there is a way 100% to start fresh, to move forward in a more balanced and harmonious way. That 4 of Wands, we got a lot of like family energy. So you could be, like I said, that's been coming up a lot. 4 of Wands with the Hierophant. It's putting you in the position of making a choice. Exactly what our overarching energy is all about this week. And I think, let's see how this plays out for you. Even though you might have a bad taste in your mouth around something, I don't know, what I'm hearing is like you shouldn't let that inform your decisions moving forward, because I do, yes, I mean obviously don't be a doormat or turn a blind eye to someone's bad behavior. I'm not saying that ever. Always keep yourself safe, protected. If someone is not honoring you, then definitely make sure that you are doing what you need to do to keep yourself safe, right? But this feels more like someone who either you haven't talked to in a while, or there's been just some disconnect. There's been some, not a lot of conversation, not a lot of communication. And I think that you're going to, it's going to be, it's going to be a conversation that I feel like is really informative. I think there are good things that come with it. I think there's also some heavy things that come with it. It is putting the power back in your hands, though, is what I'm seeing. It's helping you kind of become, fill in some of the gaps and become a little bit stronger and more confident in what you need to do, i.e., that Mars energy we were talking about. And whomever, whatever is trying to infiltrate or being difficult or whatever that is, like, it's an annoyance, it's a frustration, but it's not something that's consuming you or where you're being put in such a bad position that you can't do anything about it. Because I feel like it's a different type of action. That's what I keep picking up. Whether it is as simple as you just changing up how you approach it, what you say, the language you use, or if it's something a little bit more monumental where you are, well, yeah, I guess that's just redundant. Sorry. I was going to say like moving in a completely new way. Sorry, a little redundant. All right, let's close this out. Okay, so making improvements. That's what this is all about. And refining. Again, there's always going to be good things in life and things that we don't like so much, credits and deficits. And we learn how to invest in those credits to make them stronger and become bigger in our life. And then not only does that help minimize the deficits, but it also helps us um, to, what was I? Sorry. Woo. It also helps us to learn how to navigate the deficits, learn how to navigate the harder things, right? Because we can't completely get rid of those. And in Maharishi Ayurveda, it talks about how that actually, the tension, the difficulty, the pain, that actually becomes the fuel for us to overcome, to get stronger, to grow, to evolve, to be better versions of ourselves. And you're uncovering more around this as you move forward. It does feel like a long lasting energy, or like whatever you are learning through, it's been a long lesson, is what I'm hearing. Like it's taken its sweet time, but it's also helping you empower yourself, empower your voice, maybe even speak your truth. I know that's so cliche and I really kind of hate saying that, but it's, you know, when actually, if we want to talk about that, like in energy healing, the throat chakra and the sacral, well, the throat chakra and is it the sacral chakra? I think are, sorry, now I'm butchering this, but they're connected essentially. So like where our empowerment, where we get our drive, our to create, to be the best version of ourselves, our solar plexus. That's why. Sorry, I was getting thrown off. It's our throat and our solar plexus. Our solar plexus is by our navel, it is our power center, and it is connected to our throat, right? And then in the middle, we have our heart. So that pathway has to be open in order for us to improve, right? In order for us to be able to like engage in our life in a really powerful and authentic way, in a way that's honoring who you are as an individual, what you bring to the table, how you want to live your life. So you're not staying stuck in whatever this mess is. And not that you are, I'm seeing there's a lot of evolution happening. It might feel like it's a snail's pace, but I think you're a lot further, like I said, than what you even think. Let's see what this uncover. Okay, so how to have a little bit more peace and harmony despite, never easy, but there's other ways to do things, right? So finding there's other ways to do things. So educating yourself a little bit this week, finding a little bit more joy, not being so attached to the negativity or whatever that is, for you. It can get really easy to focus on all of that stuff. And really, when we're talking about manifestation, that's the exact opposite thing of what we want to be doing, right? Like, we don't, yes, being aware of the deficits and where they're playing out in our life, But if we constantly hyperfixate on those things, then, there's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be ways to grow, to improve. And a lot of this is finding that delicate balance between being gentle with yourself, not letting these energies, no matter how much they intend to throw you off, not letting it throw you off, but actually being like strong and confident in the person that you are. And I think a lot of that is manifesting in your life in a way that feels more in alignment with you, and people are seeing that. I feel like that's where this Queen and King of Pentacles are coming through, why they're reaching out, connecting, whatever that is, trying to help you out a little bit more than what has been in the past. And like I said, it's a stable energy. It's an energy that's allowing you to grow. It's an energy that's allowing you to expand beyond what the limitations have been and find a little bit more joy and harmony within your life, right? And then also that vibe of connecting you back to who you are. And that's a lot of where this experience is really helping you. It's helping you be better. And then even when you're on the other side of it or whatever, then you can be proud of all you've done, all you've overcome. This is not going to be a forever energy, right? Even though it feels a little bit like that. Like I said, we're going to see a little bit more momentum this week. Even if someone is trying to bait you, even if they are trying to bring you down or whatever, you don't have to get involved. And I think that that's not the test, but that's kind of what I'm hearing is like, that's where you keep your energy high vibrational, right? Like you don't have to get sucked into the difficulty. Easier said than done, and I know that's very hard in the moment, but that also comes from knowing ourselves, knowing what we need, knowing when we get triggered. We have these self-care habits that can help us rebalance. We can take a step back, we can nurture, support ourselves in a way that we need, so then we can come back to the table even stronger than ever. And then these energies that try to whatever, um it's not as, they're not as threatening as maybe what they once were. And I feel like you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of growth. There is communication that needs to happen that's really going to help solidify what's going on and bring some of this messiness to a close. Maybe you're working specifically on closing something out. We have that Nine of Wands, and I feel like that's exactly what this Queen of Pentacles is helping you do this week. Not towards the end, not till the end of the week. I don't feel like this energy is around beginning of the week, but something's coming through to help. And it's not a bad thing, right? This is, yeah, it's not a bad thing. Like I think sometimes it's easy to let these situations misinform us, make us buy into false beliefs or things that aren't really real, i.e., that Black Moon Lilith tensely aspected to the North Node. So that's what I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you found messages that resonated here for you. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I super appreciate you. Definitely drop comments below. I love to connect. I love to say hey. I love to hear what's going on in your world. And yes, I hope you have a fabulous day, fabulous week. I'll be live midweek, and then stay tuned for the collective shorts that I upload. All right. Thank you. Sorry, I was oh hey Karen. So good to see you. I hope you have a fabulous week too. All the love, girl. Yeah. And I will see you guys. I will see you on Thursday morning. All right. Talk to you soon. Have a great one. Lots of love.